But Razorfist says, after years of foregoing drama due to the lies and libel of others, it appears I'll be ending a few YouTube careers this week. No one who doesn't deserve it. It's just a shame some people can't seem to hold a gun without putting it in their mouth. Now back to the rants. So I did pre-watch this and I thought it was pretty good. Not gonna lie. But let's get straight into this. I'm gonna put it. Actually, he talks. From what I remember, he talks pretty fast.
Will be the one and only time I've ever addressed fatuous accusations.
I'll turn up the audio for you guys.
Defamatory nonsense, particularly promulgated by the Perma Online Brigade. I tend to hold with a quote from the great John Milton: "The best apology for false accusers is silence, sufferance, and honest deeds set against dishonest words."
Tell me if these audio levels are better.
While the accusations were libelous and shockingly simple to disprove,
that might have been too much.
Also entirely too lurid for some talent-bereft drama humping halfwits not to make the mistake of attaching their channels, reputations, and indeed their entire careers to, after which I would drop my reams upon reams of receipts and end their careers overnight. So I hope you fellas enjoyed the 2-week victory lap I allowed you all to have, because now karma comes to collect. And if you thought Pro Jared had receipts to prove his innocence, buckle up, bitch. Fortunately for me, I don't even really need all of that exculpatory proof to disprove the most serious of these claims, because as many of my fans have already helpfully pointed out, the available timeline already disproves them. If I were to allege that Elon Musk robbed a jewelry store on June 13th at 6 o'clock.
All right, this is a lot of preamble. So, okay, put 1 to like keep this in, or 2 if I should just skip all the preambles straight to the juice.
PM, seems to me, step 1 in establishing or annihilating that allegation would be to check the surveillance footage on June 13th at 6 o'clock on the dot. So,
yeah, I mean, there are like unfalsifiable claims. But if you make a statement that somebody is at a certain place in time and there should be some video recording of it, then that is pretty easy to prove. What would be a good example of an unfalsifiable claim?
As internet sleuths have already deduced, due to the age and birth date of the accuser, in order for this relationship to have occurred when they say it did, I would have had to be dating this person in or throughout 2015. Any later than this, and the entire timeline collapses. Fortunately for me, 2015 was also significant in that it's the same year I began streaming in earnest. The name of that series is Razorfist Arcade, and the entire thing is publicly available in a single handy playlist on my channel's front page, and has been since 2015.
Now he's getting loud, completely throwing my audio out of whack.
If you click on only the 3rd video on that playlist, a live stream of the game.
You know what? I should ask Grok for an example of an unfalsifiable claim. That'd be a great thing to do. Grok is so trustworthy. Am I right, fellas? I'm a multi-prompter enjoyer. Just
Thief 4 that originally aired on March 18th, 2015. You can disprove these allegations within about 30 seconds, because at that point in the video, a woman's voice can be heard.
Do you ever plan on playing or reviewing the original Dark Souls?
Yeah, I've heard the original Dark Souls.
She does sound kind of young.
Is a lot better than 2.
I like. No, this was recorded or not recorded, but streamed 2015. I like how the discourse there is like that. That was the stage. Like, yeah, I heard the first one's a lot better than the second one. Was 2015 before Dark Souls 3, or was 2015 was Bloodborne? I'm pretty sure 2016 was Dark Souls 3. If I'm not mistaken.
There is actually. My lady just heard her son.
Okay, so Grok's example of an unfalsifiable claim that it gave to me is, there is an invisible, undetectable unicorn in my backyard. And it explains this claim is unfalsifiable because it cannot be tested or proven, as the unicorn is described as invisible and undetectable by any means. It just went with the most extreme example it could. I should ask it a more realistic example.
There is actually a way to get the identity of the voice. My actual girlfriend at the time, a 26-year-old white woman with a high soprano voice as contrasted with the lower Latina voice of the accuser. She was my earliest.
Okay, hopefully that explains the thumbnail. for you all.
Host on Razorfist Arcade, she interacted fairly and warmly with my audience, hence why they affectionately named her Lady Fist, which is why I find it so unctuous that drama-humping douchebags found it necessary to write her out of existence.
Yeah, so Grok's example of a more realistic example would be a cosmic force secretly controls all human decisions, but its influence is impossible to detect or measure. That is Grok's like more realistic example of an unfalsifiable claim. SMH. Also people are now debating when Bloodborne came out. Let's ask Grok. Grok, is this true? I'm pretty sure Bloodborne's 2015. March 2015 in North America. Okay.
In order to forward a false...
I was right. Memory served me right.
...was not in at this time. One of the worst mistakes a defamation merchant can make when inventing a lie about someone is to include a third party in the lie who can gainsay your story. In this case, my current co-host and longtime editor, Taryn Gell, was there the entire time.
What does a Razorfist editor do? Like make the video black and white? But I think this is really this is kind of funny how it's just like this is just a Razorfist video. Like he's not even dropping the act or like his whole persona. He's just doing it and it somehow works.
And can confirm I was with Ladyfist not only in 2015, but for several years thereafter. We started streaming in 2015.
Yeah.
You became co-host shortly after that. So there's
Aaron Co. 2009 to present, bro. Dude, 2009 was what, 16 years? Dude, that's crazy. I think 2009 was 16 years ago.
streams from like February and March where she's the co-host. After you became co-host, do you remember her still being in the picture?
Absolutely. So you would often see her this would be back in your old place, that she'd be in the back chilling on the bed.
Okay, I've been seeing this tweet going around at some point that was like Razor, like it was from Razorfist, but the tweet itself is saying, "This is Razorfist's girlfriend. I took his phone," and he's like violently masturbating. Is this like the girl, like the old girl, the Lady Fist? Is that what that tweet? Assuming that tweet's real, I'm not even sure anymore at this point. But we just got a super chat from Kyle Lauren for $5, and I changed. You might not be able to see it. I cleaned up my desk. I'm now able to see chat much more. Basically, like right under my display monitor that you're all seeing, I can see chat right under. But it's a really, I got a really cool little thing to see chat. But Kyle Lawrence says for $5, I'm wondering why now. These allegations are years old, and he's always been very shifty whenever it did come up. I think so. He directly mentions SmashJT and Kino Casino in these in later in this video. So I'm assuming this has to do with Kino Casino and SmashJT. I'm assuming because like the accusations may not have been prominent at all. Like they could have just been like around Kiwi Farms or certain corners of Twitter. But now, it's being signal boosted by much larger audiences on YouTube. That's why it's like now it's kind of like something he can't ignore. If this would, oh no, do I have to reload Twitter? The Twitter video player never, dude. Did you know, like, you can, like, Elon Musk has really been pushing for, like, videos on Twitter, and this is what happens when, you can't even, like, if I was on my phone, I couldn't even, like, turn the screen off without this pausing on me. Also, the video player, like, there's an X, like, TV app for watching videos. Okay, there we go.
One and only time
Okay, what is this? I think we're, like, what, 3 minutes in? There we go.
Or this would be back in your old place, that she'd be in the back chilling on the bed. She'd go in and out or whatever.
Right.
But she was still there.
And she would chime in sometimes on streams.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember, right?
Well, you would invite her to.
Right. So would you say that she was still in the picture for like only a month or two after that? Or would you say that was like for a year or more?
Definitely a year or more. She was there for a while.
Right.
Lady Fist was a Caucasian female, very, very pale woman.
Even after Taryn.
Is there any like lore behind Lady Fist? Like why? I'm assuming they're no longer together. Is there lore on that? I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
Gel settled into the co-host role, Lady Fist remained a fixture of arcade live streams in the years that followed, albeit only in the background. In fact, when I recorded a recreation of the Shadow radio drama entitled The Immortal Murderer, cast in the role of Margot Lane, as the credits will confirm, and your own ears will as well, was none other than Lady Fist.
Now, take it easy, Commissioner. It's easy for you to sit there smirking, Cranston.
I don't know what this is, but I guess this is evidence that he was, definitely dating somebody else during what would be the time of these allegations. Shadow09 for $2 says, bro, what happens to the Ribby, the party frog, and gay? I mean, Ribby just quit YouTube. I mean, after getting banned once, and then he tried to keep going, and it was just yeah. Yeah, so I mean, some people just aren't having fun with YouTube at a certain point, which fair enough. Fair enough. I did kind of leave YouTube for 9 months, but
Not smirking, Commissioner.
My apologies, Miss Lane. I ought to have said leering.
That episode was uploaded on Halloween, October 31st, 2016. Over a year after every imbecilic e-drama dick holster falsely alleges I was dating the accuser. And before anyone argues, well, you're clearly keeping the relationship a secret from your public girlfriend. Okay, that almost makes sense. Until you remember that I wasn't keeping Lady Fist at all private from the accused. So why, in every defamatory screenshot, in every autism-infused e-drama video in existence, in the long litany of defamatory and false allegations, is not once it claimed that I publicly dated another woman while I was supposed to be with the accuser on Razorfist Arcane live streams that thousands of people watched? Seems to me that would be item number 1 on the list of douchey things I'd done if even one of these accusations were accurate. There goes the timeline, there goes the accusations along with it, all after 30 seconds of research on a public playlist. 30 seconds of research that SmashJT and the drama parasites on the Cringe Casino couldn't be bothered to do before obliterating the last waning rivulets of their remaining credibility by committing libel and ending their own careers. And all before I've dropped a single private receipt, of which I have many, motherfucker. But I know what you're saying. I don't believe.
Okay. This is definitely. I mean, to be fair, it's I'd say it's justified considering the accusations levied against him. But he is peeking the mic. He is very angry right now.
Terrangel. After all, he's Razor's buddy. He's biased. Maybe he hallucinates Latinas into white chicks in his spare time. Maybe he's misremembering her sitting by his side for over 3 damn years. Why, without seeing her, in order to know she isn't the accuser, what we need is a vocal analysis, and I agree. So first, let's hear Lady Fist again.
There is no way you cried when Eris died.
I so did. I even have a soundtrack on my iPod whenever I...
Bro's such an old head. He calls Aerith Eris, bro.
plays, I tear out. The flashbacks.
But where's the accuser? All we've heard is one side. Well, fortunately for you, I have just the thing, and I think it'll help clear up a lot more.
Stoned Mexican guy says you would be mad too if these grifters were trying to destroy you when all you do is mind your own business. Hey, that's I'm not blaming him for getting this angry, but I'm just imagining the optics of it. It's like let's just assume Kino Casino reacts to this on, so he's like, oh, he's molding, and then Ash and the PPP will finally have a stroke.
More than just a vocal analysis, such as why these libelous accusations emerged at all, and who, if anyone, was actually emotionally and physically abused in that relationship.
Do you think that I cannot hurt you without the power of social media? Because I promise you I can. I have a bunch of shit that'll hurt you.
Okay, nice. Another threat. Very nice.
I'm just the cold hard fact. I am aware of a bunch of shit that'll hurt your feelings. So
Is that I guess I get I guess I hear Latina in that.
So that's wow. So we're up to threat number 3. I guess 6, 4 or 5. 5 if we count the I will slit your throat or shoot you.
yeah, because you were talking to
All right, I'm going to start a poll about would you ever date a
I was
Latina?
not trying to condescend. I was trying to get off the phone and calm things down.
part you didn't understand, I want you to deactivate your Twitter. You're not allowed to stream this week. And that's going to
You're not allowed to stream this week, bruh.
What?
up and we'll never talk. Okay?
What?
I'm making you a deal.
Took a turn, didn't it? What you've just heard was an admission to and justification of a murder threat. One that my ex, as a gun owner, actually possessed the means to carry out, might I add. On one occasion, she threatened to murder my wheelchair-bound father, my former roommate, who you all knew as Mormagil, and she...
Oh, I guess last time when I was listening to this, this didn't catch my attention. Oh my god, dude, bro, Latinas, bro. Dude, this is like the me side chick in real life. Yandere Simulator.
even threatened to shoot and kill the dog we picked out together, Cicero. Now that might seem extreme, unless of course you've heard names like Jodi Arias or Amber Heard, because I learned after ending the relationship following an actual murder attempt that my ex had been diagnosed with BPD and HPD. And if that sounds at all familiar, it's because it's the same
HPD, not to be confused with HPV.
cocktail of mental illnesses that Amber Heard has. At which point I studied the condition at length, chiefly with a book called Stop Walking on Eggshells, the introduction for which...
You know, I was expecting my like thumbnail, my thumbnail and title, or mostly the thumbnail, right, to be more provocative to you all. But it seems like the super majority of you would say no on would you ever date a Latina, which kind of surprises, because there is a lot of like glorification of Latinas as like the trad, right? Oh, they're the submissive. They will submit to that. They're so much better than white women. Go get your passport right now. Oh my goodness. I meant to hit the Twitter video player, SMH, and it's buffering. It's dude. Twitter's video player is not it.
The one
I've had to reload it completely like twice. Okay. Is it gonna? There we go.
Sounds at all familiar. It's because
I should just not pause it ever.
Illnesses that Amber Heard has. At which point I studied the condition at length, chiefly with a book called Stop Walking on Eggshells, the introduction for which says in so many words, run! And after she attempted to make good on her threat to murder me, having...
Oh, I cheated on you 4 times. The lick was hung out emoji. Bro, you'll never be respected by me that flew out the window. Oh my god, I cannot repeat. I do not love Ian, bro. If anything, Razorfist is the victim here. Like this is horror. I don't wish this on anybody.
To invent a panoply of lies about me to embarrass me in public, as you just heard her admit to over a phone call, I finally resolved to do exactly that. But even after finally extricating myself from this emotionally and physically abusive relationship, the threats of blackmail intensified and finally escalated to action. If you watch the Johnny Depp trial, you have some faint notion of what I dealt with for over a year. False accusations, which the accuser actually bragged about inventing and spreading.
Over a year? Over a year of this? What? Why would you keep her around, dog?
Privately leaked recordings, absent context of any kind, where she suddenly puts on a Little Bo Peep voice and pretends she didn't initiate an argument entirely, often with preceding physical abuse. It's Johnny Depp and Amber Heard all over again, and a baffling number of leering retards took Amber Heard's side without once engaging in the aforementioned 30 seconds of research required to disprove them, all because they were felted by a fucking tweet! I've seen screenshots of the Twitter hack that are now being bandied about as evidence of this. Problem being, my ex...
Okay, is the Twitter hack the one about the mass Everson? Is that what he's referring to?
Actually refuted those allegations herself in other screenshots.
Get Chad profile picture. Okay. Okay. Wait, okay, let me go back here. Did you hack Razorfist account and close all his LMAO? No, I don't have his passwords. Okay, so that's not the masturbation.
Herself in...
Obviously, this is blank. Okay, I'm assuming that's like a name. I thought it was you, kind of confused LMAO. Nah, and Razor wouldn't say something like that to me. That's effing pathetic. What the hell is going on? I don't know. However, I don't have a Twitter, so Okay.
Other screenshots which I posted as proof. So either she was lying on the first occasion or she was lying on the second. In any case, a proven and inveterate liar. But the blackmail did exist. And here again, on the subject of the entire underage narrative being nothing but a coordinated blackmail and smear campaign, indeed, for an admission of the fact that all of my girlfriends, including her, were very much of age, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to believe her.
I haven't leaked anything. I haven't mentioned anything. I haven't messaged anyone. I haven't,
The word for that is blackmail. When you threaten to do it. And that was my entire point to begin with. This crap about me being a predator and a pedophile. How freaking dare you? My girlfriends have been my age or older.
I know.
But here's the hilarious part. It's all irrelevant. Not only did we prove that the entire timeline's impossible without a flux capacitor and plutonium, not only
Has Andy Worski or like anybody from Kino Casino responded to this at all?
did the abuser in question admit to death threats and blackmail.
It's like it does not look good for them at all.
Probably lying that they were not, but by the grace of God, I had only just begun to return to my faith at the beginning of this relationship. And so, after multiple live-in girlfriends and physical relationships, I finally felt the conviction to actually wait until marriage. I have no defense. I'm simply a sinner. Oh, I intended to marry her, at least the person she was pretending to be, through a BPD technique known as mirroring, wherein they ask a lot of questions and they seem really curious and interested in your life, when in actuality they're assembling a composite personality of all of your likes and dislikes, which they then project back at you like some kind of mirror mask. A BPD.
Yo, honestly, if anything, him like educating that is an unfortunate pause frame right there. But like I don't know, like I thought this part was like actually kind of educational, right? Like if a woman is like trying to be a pick me, chances are she's actually like deranged and will try to try to milk you.
Abuser has no personality or empathy of their own, and they exploit yours. The victim of said manipulation is left to think they won the jackpot, at least initially. In my case, I thought I had a traditional Christian wife willing to wait until marriage, and then, a month in, the mask started to slip and she became openly abusive, both emotionally and physically, and so
a month in. Okay, so a month in, but supposedly you stayed with her for a year. Or like at least you endured whatever she did to you for a year. I mean, like obviously, like I do feel bad for him, but like, come on, it was only a month in. It's not like you were in too deep. It's not like your roots were too dug in, right?
And gooning for all the dimwits and dipshits typing the words, "He slept with a child" in their thumbnails. Not only was she of age by her own admission, I never proposed marriage, and thus we never slept together. But once again, I do not want you to take my word for it. Instead, I want you to do exactly what you've already been doing. I want you to take her word for it without any proof or research of your own of any kind.
If anybody were to come up to ask me and say, "Hey, how's Razor? How's living with Razor?" "Oh, he's a lying piece."
Except that's not true.
"Are you still a virgin?" "Yeah, I'm still a virgin." "Oh, but I thought you lived with your boyfriend." "Yep, still a virgin."
Weirdest groomer ever. A relationship that requires a time-traveling DeLorean to actually occur, culminating in...
Wait, okay, so like obviously, like I'm not gonna like Bible bash him or whatever, but I like Razor, like the assumption I get from that is that, like, obviously Razorfist isn't sleeping with women anymore that he's not married to because of his like faith transformation, but he's still living with his girlfriend, which I believe is also living in sin. Like you shouldn't be living together if you're not married. Also, that is also a very unfortunate pause frame. But like, obviously, like he's just getting back. He's not going to know literally everything, but
no sex whatsoever because we were both waiting until marriage. Saucy stuff, folks. I can see why you'd want to torpedo your entire YouTube career, attaching your credibility to it. But what about the most salacious allegation of all? The ones Blandy Worski and the Diabetosaurus next to him were shaking their talentless tits about for 20 minutes at a stretch, blissfully unaware it was the
Kino Casino mentioned
career. A decade-old, long discredited screenshot from a...
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys really think this will do damage to the Kino Casino. I feel like I do feel like Kino Casino could easily kind of just like wash their hands of this. I feel like that's what they're gonna try to do.
Website that no longer exists, featuring incorrect doxing information that's grainier than the Zapruder footage. By all means, let's dive into that. Because while you world-smashing web sleuths were spending all of 5 seconds repeating lies on an e-drama website whose own page includes a disclaimer that it is, quote, an online humor and satire source, and
Okay, I don't think he mentions this by name. This doesn't seem to be Kiwi Farms. What drama site is this?
thus that you shouldn't take anything said therein even the slightest bit seriously. I did some digging of my own, and I didn't have to dig far. You see, the allegation is these videos are not only of me, but the proof is that I uploaded them myself. Now, as an author, I would say I have a fairly distinct authorial voice, marked by bizarre Victorian nomenclature interspersed with the odd peppering of profanity. So in doing some research, I discovered that the video in question was actually uploaded more than once by the same
Slut load.
on that porn
I am so glad he censored these out. He didn't have to because it's Twitter. I'm so glad he censored this himself. Oh.
website. And in examining the description of said video, I would imagine my unique grammatical style would be impossible to camouflage. So let's dig in. The first video entitled, Genki Face / Carrot Head, self-deprecating sort that I am, goes on
He knew we were gonna react to this.
to say, quote, I am that coward, capital C, who have nothing to do just to sit at my cam and review stupid games, capital G. This is the video of my jerking off, capitalized all. Oh, but now here's a curious cultural artifact for any actual Americans out there, because what follows is a
Okay, and we just got another super chat for $2 or Canadian $2 from Bob. Bob says PPP is one of my favorite virgin lil cows. That is the opinion of Bob. I will neither condemn nor condone that statement
phone number
as of yet.
that's not only incorrect, but written not in the American, but the international phone number format, meaning with a plus sign, followed by a country code of 1 for America, followed by an unspaced, unhyphenated phone number thereafter, as we in the hinterland of Arizona are so inclined to do. Of course, I remember this video even better than that, because back in April of 2011, the selfsame barely literate troll uploaded this false video to YouTube and linked it to my fans. See, back then, YouTube listed each and every one of your subscribers on your page publicly, so said troll was able to scroll down the list and DM it to them at whim. Some of you rageaholics may still remember this. And so in April of 2011, I shut my channel down only briefly in order to protect my own fans from being spammed by this spurt, as there was no other way to hide my public subscribers.
This is crazy. This is crazy how all of this, like he has receipts going back to like 2011, 2009, like basically the beginning of his career to disprove this. But okay, Reggie in chat says, man, guys here want to give Razor flack for putting up with this. Go back to those phone calls and texts. The chick would call the cops to blast him in a heartbeat. Or you know what? You are right. You are right. And to be fair, right? I'm just being that guy. I'm trying to be that guy. I'm just speaking to like gain awareness and context of this, because I'm not like the guy browsing Kiwi Farms just to like just to expose everybody I don't like, you know. Only for videos. Bob for another Canadian $5 says, love the content. Manic also as a Zoomer who has dated Latinas. They can be quite cray and mean, but I love their smell, bro. I smell. You want? I will endorse that. All right. That's that is crazy. That is a crazy super chat. Thank you so much, Bob. Oh, and okay, and Twitter video player died on me again. Okay, what is that? 1634.
Will be
Elon. This is what happens when you need a bunch of H1Bs to develop your website.
Wondering, by the way, why my channel was founded in May of 2009, but none of my videos date to before.
Oh, the video player's lagging. What's going on here?
Had to re-upload them all. Mind you, the video was promptly removed, but the account was still up long enough that I did nab a screenshot of some of.
Why is Twitter's video player like this? Why is this doing this to me?
Reactions at the time, and it's in combing over the account in question that we
Oh my god. Oh my. Please say this. This can't be my internet, right?
see more sterling
Okay.
examples of my writing style. Quote, I'm Daniel Razorbutt. Some know me as Donkey Face, Carrot Head, Dumb Shit, and ... But I prefer Jerkaholic.
Dude, YouTube has so much soul. So the YouTube interface had so much soul back then.
If you crack the case of my illicit gay porn career, Columbo, you should roll with this narrative without
You know who actually had a gay porn career? Sneeko.
doing any research whatsoever because you're cranky about a tweet. In fact, you should attach the final remaining micrograms of credibility you still possess on your person to push in this piss-poor nonsense and accomplish precisely nothing in the process but utterly embarrassing yourself being caught, once again, lying about strangers on the internet. But we expect laziness and libel from these cum-burping bitches. No one whatsoever surprised when Glandy Worski peers out from the coke cloud, flanked by an anonymous autistic asteroid who, if chins were brains, would rule the fucking world, pauses momentarily to comb an drama website that openly admits to lying its dick off from dawn to damn dusk, all to tank the remaining relevance of the Diabeto Casino. And
Not gonna that was straight bars right there. Not gonna like he was going all like does he like script this out or does he just do it on the fly? Because if he does that on the fly, that was a very impressive string of insults.
no. And as for Gash JT, the fart huffing hack who honestly confuses himself with an independent journalist, such that he's still spurging about stolen scoops that if his character in this instance is any indication, he likely stole from someone else. Also, he could slap white text on a wildly original thumbnail and express socially acceptable opinions on the 8 entire members of his imbecilic audience. Ah, well, what you lack in talent, you make up for in chromosomes. Look at the bright side, bud. I've ended bigger careers of infinitely more talented individuals in a 5-minute rant. You only took me 30 seconds. Walk it off, asshole. I hear they're hiring at IKEA. And the receipts you've heard today are only the tip of the shiceberg. I'm holding the real goodies back, just in case a crazy person decides to be the latest Me Too accuser to lose in court. But publicly, outside of a courtroom, this is the first and last word I have said about this easily debunked bullshit. On with the rants.
So he does kind of allude he's playing a little bit. He is kind of alluding to possible like taking people to court, which considering H3 is doing that too, and now I feel like a lot of people are going to court for defamation. But I feel like that's more indicative of just how much YouTube content is calling other people out, which I would be hypocritical to be against that. So Broderick Black for $5 says, and this is why remaining a virgin as a man, because then you don't get involved with crap like this. Remember, folks, virginity has its perks. I like how that has 6 likes, but the feet one only has 1, and that 1 like is me. If you're gonna give me money, I might as well give you a like. Yeah, it's like not made too like what was Shannon? Was it Shannon Sharp who like had a whole like thing with so somebody much younger, but obviously legal. And there's the whole phone call leak. And he had like $100 million podcast deal, right? There's a lot of investments going into podcasts right now, mostly because people think podcast is what swung the election last time. But Shannon Sharp was getting a huge podcast deal. And then this like OnlyFans girl just kind of like leaks an audio recording about, yeah, I'm going to choke you. And I'm a big black man and you're a tiny white girl and all that, which it's not abuse, but it's still perverted. It's still disordered, right? It's obviously a fetish to him. She may have consented, but you can still morally object to it. I'm not gonna like call it grape, I'm not saying it's that, but like it can still be bad. Shannon Sharp is not Shannon Sharp doesn't have to be a sex offender for me to think his sexual antics are bad, right? I forgot what point I was going. I forgot what point I was going with this. I forgot how this ties back to Razorfist. Okay. Oh yeah, the virginity super chat. Yeah, just okay. Shannon Sharp, $100 million contract, and not to mention he already has like the ESPN contract. That can just be like null now because of like ethics clause, right? Because he's causing controversy. See, if he just kept it in his pants, then he wouldn't be having that issue, right? But a post from KiwiFarms.net says Razorfist has published a rare response video engaging in e-drama to address claims made by SmashJT. He made several other threatening posts written in a strange and pretentious manner, warning of a libel claim. So notice how Kiwi Farms like words this, right? Made several other threatening posts written in a strange and pretentious manner, right? That seems to be a bit of editorializing, and dare I say a little bit of a sweeping, a little bit of sweeping for the Kino Casino, dare I say.